Boom. Boom. There we go. There we go. Ah. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, Lucas, what's up, buddy? What's up, man? They finally announced officially Dominic Reyes, Johnny Walker. Very weird fight. Very, very weird fight. How was Happy New Year's Day, Ben? I had to work. What's up, Taryn? Happy New Year to you. Just chilling, bro. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe. Yeah, it was Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. You're picking Dom? Me too. It just depends what version of Dom shows up. And people forget this. Like, Johnny Walker didn't look good in his last one. He was able just to survive and then win, which, cool, good for him. But it's not like, oh, he changed things up and he won. Nah, he survived, ran away for a minute, survived, and then won. You know, whose chin is worse, Reyes or Walker? Walker. Told you it happened. Yep, it happened. Like I was saying, is that real? Because I had been hearing about it, but it wasn't official. Because that's happened to me before, where I've announced some things and it gets messed up because it's not actually official. And it kind of messes it up. Again, no fault on yours. Oh shoot, that's cool. Uh, let's no, gosh dang it. I heard Olberg versus Prohaska next. Can't spell Yuri's name right. No, you're good. No big deal. I knew what you meant. That's a crazy matchup. I'm surprised Olberg's not fighting Poetan, but that's a wild fucking matchup. And I'll tell you this right now, who I'm going to be hoping for, Yuri. But I have zero, and I mean zero excitement to watch Yuri fight Alex again. I can't even describe to you how. No. I wonder if Arnold Allen is going to make a comeback and beat Gene. I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. Walker hasn't looked good since losing to Corey Anderson in 2019. Correct. Because remember the big hype behind Walker, then he first entered in the UFC 7 years ago. Yeah, 100%. People are saying that he was going to challenge John, which no matter what you think about John, that's a ridiculous statement. Even when he was flatlining a bunch of people, it was like, okay, cool, but he's beating these guys early. He's not really being tested. Yeah, but for Corey to go out there and knock him out was just wild. It was so awesome. I remember watching it live. Ooh, boy, was I pumped. Boy, was I pumped. Uh, oh, yeah. Here it is. With the beard, you look 85. Appreciate you. My Gucci's Harry. Okay. Yuri for the win. Olberg is going to get flattened, but I want to see a bar brawl fight. I It's weird because it depends on Yuri is there to be countered, but he's also going to make Olberg have to counter him. If that makes sense. Even if Yuri loses, it's still a dangerous fight for Olberg. With Alex, it should be Olberg because Yuri doesn't. I don't care what he does. You can't fight a champion when you're 0-2. I don't care about that fight at all. I was watching some old UFC fights today to start my New Year's. Hell yeah, Professor Snape. Now Corey isn't even in the UFC anymore. Yeah, I was really wanting him to fight. There was a matchup I thought there was going to be. I also really wanted to see Bader versus DC because they had bad blood. I was really wanting that fight. I think Derek Louis is more athletic than Waldo. Oh, Derek Lewis is more athletic than Waldo. I agree. Athletically, yeah, I agree. But Waldo's been fighting more. He's more, like I said, he's more active. I trust Waldo's more durability more than I trust Derek Lewis's. I'll be rooting for Lewis, but I think he loses. Yuri's good on pressure too, 100%. I mean, isn't even. Yeah. Hopefully, Rising Champ Daliev goes to UFC soon. That'd be cool. Bader versus DC would be fun, a lot of fun. We don't even have that much longer until UFC 324. We have way too long. It's not too much longer, but it's way too long. Way too long. Let's be honest. Here we go. Apply. It's 22 more days. Oh gosh. Ooh, ooh, that's 3 more weeks, guys. 3 more. I'm yeah, yeah. Yo, El Nasty, what's up? What's up? How would Will Ferry do in the UFC heavyweight division? I think he'd be a light heavyweight fighter. I think he would do decently. Yo, Taj, what's up, buddy? How do you see Gable Stevenson doing realistically? Not well, because the hype is too big on him right now, and I think that would get him into a ton of trouble, an absolute ton of trouble. We have to understand that it'd get him in so much trouble. Let's make sure we got this live. What are you doing? No UFC, football. Yeah, football, working. You know, family time. That's kind of been the biggest thing right now. We are live. Barking moves up. Okay. Derek Lewis will give Gable Stevenson all the CTE with that KO shot. He'll never fight Gable, but if he did, oh, he would destroy Gable. Can you imagine if Rico didn't turn down the Lewis fight? It'd be like Saki taking on Roundtree. Um, I think Rico would do so much better against Roundtree or Derek Lewis. I think Rico's worlds better than Saki, but that doesn't mean Saki's not good. These months move fast, bro. January 24th will be your no time. I hope so. Heavyweight is the worst UFC weight class. I think Gable does better than most, potentially, but that doesn't just because he's beating bad fighters doesn't mean he's good. You know what I mean? You ever play? It's ridiculous. Oh, what's up? Getting some Taco Bell. What's up, Titans? Bo Nickel had a lot of hype behind him, and he's gradually rising to the occasion. And he is not gradually. No, he's not. No, he's not. Do you think he ends up more like Bo Nickel or DC? I mean, I think he'll have early success. I don't think later on, like early rankings, he'll be okay. Higher rankings, like top 10, and he's going to be top 10 faster because it's an awful division, he'll be okay. Or once he gets higher, he'll be terrible. I think Gable beats Tybora right now. Um, we have no idea what Gabe's cardio is. No idea. We have no idea how he is when he's tired. So sure, Gabe might be able to beat him early. I probably would pick Tybora um, late. Valentina versus Morales in a dance off. Who do I have? Valentina. Gabe could Hamza his way to the belt. I again, we don't know anything about his cardio. Maybe, but I don't know. Blades beats Gable. He doesn't wrestle, so no. Blades is bad. Did you see they gonna make Protest versus JDM? I seen they were looking for it, but I don't know if they're gonna make it. That's an interesting matchup for JDM. Did you hear Alex is going out with Tracy Cortez, Shama? Yeah, I did hear that. Cool for him. JDM Protest is sick. Yeah. Gable could Brock Lesnar. He is not the athlete that Brock Lesnar is. Like he has a little bit of power. He's a good wrestler. I don't think he's the athlete that Brock Lesnar was. Dan Protest versus JDM would be sick. Yeah. Because like Brock Lesnar had this unbelievable ground and pound. I don't think Gable's gonna have that. Roundtree versus Lewis at heavyweight. Who you rolling with? Lewis. Probably Lewis. But heavyweight, if Roundtree's a natural heavyweight, probably Roundtree because he's more accurate. And yeah, probably him. Brock is one once and a gifted talent back then. Yeah. I hated Brock when I was a kid, but when you go back and you watch his stuff, he was talented, man. I mean, if you get past the first minute and a half with Tom, he might beat Tom because we know Tom doesn't have cardio. He's a weak man. Viking return? Yep. Gabe Bo at the Weight House. Thoughts? I think Gabe beats Bo right now. Right now. What fights do you want in the White House? Oh, gosh, I mean, it's gonna be the same answers I've been given. John, Alex, Ilya, Islam. Islam Shavkat's fun. Islam, Ian Gary's fun, but those ones, I mean, Pantoja, Van, Van Cop. I'm cool with that too. Valentine, or I guess Valentina Nunez. It's not gonna happen. I'm just showing it, you know. Um, uh, Alex. Oh, yeah, I guess Alex John is what I said. Oh, Hamzat. I'm Evolve. I like to see Hamzat versus Fluffy, but Brock must definitely be a bully boy. Khalil Roundtree would be crazy if he went heavyweight. Yeah. Brock is an anomaly. His win over Carwin shouldn't have happened. He actually proved a lot in that fight. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I do think any other referee stops that fight. So I think that says a ton. I thought Carwin should have had the stoppage. Great job for Brock surviving, I guess. Like I said, it should have been stopped. But yeah, he showed he could take a beating. People saying Brian Ortega is punching air right now because Alex is dating his former girlfriend. I don't think Ortega gives a damn. People are so delusional. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think he has his own shit going on. Bo Nickel versus Jared Cannonier. I think Cannonier sleeps him. Not even competitive. That's another one of those fights for Bo Nickel. RDR Bo, same thing. I met Brock before. He's a cool guy. That's awesome. I seen an interview with him, and someone was asking him when did he start to feel better. I think he was coming back or whatever, and he goes, "I don't know, man. It was on this like Tuesday or something." He goes, "Who gives a fuck? I'm back." It was so cool. That's when I was like, "Ah, okay, he's cool." O'Malley versus Yan Two will be at the White House if he beats Song. I hope so. That'd be awesome. Next fight, Islam. Who? How do I think the Undertaker versus Brock and MMA would have gone? They had had they made MMA back in the day, what do I think? Brock would have beat up Lesnar. I mean, Jesus, I think Brock would have beat up the Undertaker. I think the Undertaker was athletic for what he was doing, but I don't think he could take the damage that Brock would have inflicted. We seen the Taker versus Brock stare down in the UFC. Yes, we did. Next, welterweight Islam versus I don't know who that is. I want to see Bo Nickal, Jared can Jared versus Jared. Oh, Kamaru versus Bilal, Peyton versus Corey at the White House. That's not bad. It's not bad. Do you think Aspinall has anything left to prove if he beats Gon? He has everything to prove. He's done nothing. What? Gabe Stevenson being ego stroked about his striking on Joe Rogan's pod was straight delusional. I haven't watched it, but I'm sure he was. Yeah, dude, fucking fought truck drivers, and Rogan acting like he's gift to the heavyweight division. I think it shows how bad the heavyweight division is. Like, you know, Gable does have speed. I think that's one thing he does have for him is speed. He's athletic for sure, but again, he's fought nobody. Yeah, it's a very weird place to be. Drinks what? Uh, Sucking water. Can you imagine if Brock didn't have stomach issues? Oh my god, that would be a scary to see. I agree. I agree. Did you work a full day today? No, I did not. But it was enough for me to be like, oh god. Brady versus Buckley at the White House too. That'd be sick. I love that. So Poton snacking Tracy Turtle ankles Cortez. I hear Buckley versus MVP is going down. I got MVP. I think MVP smashes Buckley. It is going to be straight right, straight right, straight right. Buckley's out. Oh my God. And they're all like, yeah, no shit. Brock is super cool. He helped me through my depression and suicidal thoughts. Listened in, gave me good, solid advice. Dude, that's awesome. Win for Brock. You should make Mickey Gall versus Nick Diaz. Mickey Gall is not in the UFC, but that would be awesome. Didn't the Indian UFC guy get knocked out in his last one? Yes, he did. Happy New Year. Masvidal will fight at the White House. That'd be sick. I don't think so. What do you think about could be being mad? What? Moved to Tennessee, bro, to Nashville. Not sure if you like the Southern United States. At least Brock Lesnar has more balls than CM Punk. Fair. If Patty beats Justin, Patty versus Ilya will headline the White House card. That'd be awesome. I'd love that. I think Josh Mops Gable. That's interesting. He might be a little slower than Gable, so that's an interesting one. Who has the luckiest career in the UFC in your opinion? For me, it's Masvidal. Luckiest is Masvidal. That's crazy. Look at everyone he's fought. He's had a hard list. Lucky, I mean, gosh. Um, oh my gosh. Gamrot. Masvidal's crazy. John Jones backs Gabe, and John isn't a bad person to have in your corner. I mean, sure. I'm not saying Gabe's bad. I'm saying we don't know anything about Gable. Beating these people he's fought and beaten means nothing because he hasn't done anything. He hasn't fought anybody. Masvidal's done, yeah. He's done, but he's not down the easiest, luckiest road. Turn, I wouldn't mind to visit. I don't know about living. Isn't it crazy that all these fans are okay with Tom voting the number one contender because he is from the UK? But when John Jones was doing it, they were wanting him to be stripped immediately, 100%. Cowboy versus Colby at the White House card catchweight spider. You know, the Cowboy would smash Colby. Got to be sick. He wasn't even avoiding him. He just did want to fight a bum. Yep. Can you imagine if Fedor went to the UFC a lot sooner? He would have absolutely balled out until he didn't, you know. I believe Justin's gonna beat Patty. He's gonna pull it off. I do not think so, but maybe. I mean, what has the UK had out of their one champion, Michael Bisping, a loser? Yeah, I don't think much. I thought Bisping was a great champion, by the way. Yeah, Tom is actually ducking Gon right now. John wasn't ducking him or Tom. It's so silly. Correct. Can't have it go to a decision with Patty or else they'll give it to Patty. Well, the only fight they gave to Patty was the Jared Gordon fight. Every other fight, Patty won. Clearly. Won. Also, Gaethje, I thought lost to Viziev and they gave him that fight. The first one. So Josh Hawkins should be in the White House. Who should he fight? Zach Reese. I think you could do that fight. I might be wrong on the weight class, but you're 3 hours from Atlanta. He just gets on your nerves. That's fair. Some of his takes on fighting is stupid. Yeah, I agree. What's your favorite UFC champion of all time? You got to choose one fighter. I say GSP. Favorite champion of all time? Ooh. I mean, that's tough. I probably would say Robbie Lawler because every one of his fights while he was champion was just banger after banger after banger. And it was just such a feel good story. It's a hard one to be like, John's not great, GSP's not great, DJ's not great, TJ's not great. It's hard to say those guys aren't great. I'm not saying they're not great. I'm saying it's hard to say they're not choices. But see, like even Leota was incredible as a champion, or the rise to the title. His champion, reign wasn't great. TJ's was good. Um, Gosh, trying to think. Forrest Griffin becoming champion was cool, but he didn't last long. Even though he was dominating Rashad until he lost. Yeah, probably go with them. Not bad. Didn't know that was close to each other. Hackett would beat Derek Lewis's ass. I don't think so. I don't think so. Josh Hackett versus Derek Lewis would be a banger. I think Lewis would. I think he still has big power and he is fast. I think Lewis could finish him in the first round. If he didn't, it could be a problem. Robbie was the true meaning of ruthless. Yep. One GSP, two Robbie, three Aldo. Aldo was a great champion as well. I agree. Rico guy would beat Derek Lewis's ass too. Yes. Yes. Kamaru Usman is my favorite fighter of all time. Then John Jones. Fair. I like Usman. I don't think he's on the level of GSP's like um, legacy wise. I just don't think so. I hated the fact they would be like he's the greatest welterweight of all time. No, no, he's not. But he was a good fighter, and I enjoyed his activity for sure, for sure. Good evening. What's up, Lolita? Appreciate you. Again, if you guys can, smack that like button. Appreciate you. Honorable mention, Matt Serra was a raw as hell. Yeah, BJ Penn was great. Um, oh, Benson Henderson was a good one. Frankie was a pretty good one. wild fights. Um, Joanna Jędrzejczyk was a good champion. Oh, how far do I see Ateba Gutierrez going in the UFC? Well, he hasn't necessarily been tested, so I'm not for sure 100%. I probably would say top 15 just because I those guys in the top 12 or so. So I guess like top 12. I just he hasn't gone through adversity for me to be like, hey, that guy could be champion. I need to see him go through adversity first. I never watched Silva versus Anderson, and bro, Anderson had some good highlights in that fight. Silva versus Anderson. Who are you talking about? Silva versus Anderson. BMF bracket: Justin versus Frankie, Diego versus Tony, Penn versus Holloway, Cowboy versus Poirier, Masvidal versus Holloway, Hooker versus Diaz, Viziev versus Charles. Who wins the tournament? This is prime for prime. Mm. I think it would come down to Frankie and Holloway, and I think Holloway would pull it off. How good is Matt Hamill? Not great. Crazy how no UFC champions have a title defense right now. That's crazy. Teba fought nothing but cans. Yes, he looks great doing it, but he hasn't fought anybody. Benson was a controversial champ to me. To be honest, some of his fights were robbery. Well, he had a couple split decisions for sure, for sure. I thought the only one that was like a highway robbery was the second Frankie fight. I'm mean. The guy that beat the that I think was the best was Matt. He was a Matt Hughes, was not in his prime no more after the second fight. That's fair. Altebe needs to step up after his next layup. I agree. Too bad Dan Henderson almost became champ. He was so close. He was so close. I want to see Ateba versus Piper. Someone going to sleep in that one. Yeah, I agree. And also Piper might shoot some takedowns and stuff. So that might be a really good test for Ateba. How far do you think Ateba is from top 15? Two fights. Yadir Deval versus Quinlan Jacoby Smith are my top prospects in 2026. Who are yours? El Nasty. I have an entire video of talking to my top 5 prospects in middleweight. Great thing you asked. See, who's number one top 5 middleweight prospects? I'm putting it in the chat. Make sure you guys check that out. Boom. There we go. Will lightweight forever be the BMF division? Yes. Yes, it was. It just seems like so many badass fighters either move up to that division or just in that division. 100% that will be the best division, BMF division of all time. I think Ateba should fight Abu. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. Zhang Weili is a badass, 100%. My bad. I'm going to go check it out. No big deal. Appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. Again, super chats are always welcome. It just helps out the channel so much. Smack that like button. Again, thank you guys so much for being here. It's pretty incredible. Again, 2026, we're going to hit 10,000. I'm going to say it now. 2026, we will hit 10,000 subscribers. We're going to be live every single card. Yeah, I just hope to push it to more platforms. Hope to get a little bit more exposure. And yeah, 2026, we'll get the 10,000 subs. Ateba MVP. I'm sorry. You know my answer to that one. People aren't going to like that, but I think it's true. Too bad Anthony Johnson didn't win a championship. Yeah. Mr. Palad, what a dumb thing to ask. What a dumb thing to ask. How do you think Patty's mate Luke Riley does? Well, he looked really good against Gogden, I think his name, or Bogdan. Yeah, I think Bogdan. That left hook was a thing of beauty. There's some things he needs to clean up. Otherwise, I think he's kind of stuck in that like gatekeeper area. I think he could get up to top 15, but again, I need to see him make adjustments, but I'll say top 15. He had more title defenses, but I think Kamaru beat better guys. All right, but he had a lot of rematches. That's my argument on it. The only guy that I think he really beat that was really good is Matt Hughes and Carlos Condit. I mean, Thiago Alves, when GSP beat him was on a run. On a run. When he beat Hendricks was on a run. You know, like Prime Hendricks beats a lot of welterweight guys nowadays. A lot. Best leg kicker in MMA, Edson, Justin, Thiago Alves, or Aldo. Aldo. There's no one that kicked better than Aldo in his prime. Alves, this might be a hot take. I'm gonna say Alves is number two. And then Justin and then Edson. Edson had great leg kicks, but they didn't seem to do a ton of damage. I know he has two stoppages. I know. But take away those two stoppages, there wasn't a ton of damage from those leg kicks. Aldo, Alves, Justin, Edson. Hardonk, that's a good one. He would be below Edson, though. What's funny, MMA 2, Johnsons are fighting at 324. Damn. Yep, 10K, honey. Love ya. We really don't have that much longer to 326 either. Yeah. 23 days. Who's your dark horse in the welterweight, and who do you think beats Islam? I mean, the hardest fight for Islam, Shavkat. I think that's pretty there. You know, I think Gary can give him a run for his money, but we don't know what he's going to do when he gets to the ground because he will. But Shavkat's his hardest, and I think that's the dark horse. Or Joel Alvarez, but I don't really know right now. I think you could make an argument for either guy. Sure, sure. Prata's the dark horse always. Yeah, it's hard because that's like you could have the same philosophy for Michael Morales, but they're just strikers. And, you know, we've been burnt a ton with specialists besides grapplers. Because in the history of the UFC and champions wise, it's ran by grapplers. You always have the anomaly when it's not grapplers, but most times, 9 times out of 10, it's ran by grapplers. And that's what's going on now. I don't think, unless Prates or Morales can catch Islam, who doesn't get caught a lot, those guys worry me on that aspect. I miss Anthony Johnson, even though he's been mega food for almost 4 years. Yeah, it sucks, man. I think on the right night, Prates can beat anyone. I mean, that's fair. He's not like, I would never put Islam a lock against Gary, Prates, Morales, or Shavkat. Will I pick him to win? Potentially. But I don't think he's a lock for any of those fights. Toughest fight is Morales, I think, man. Judo background, physical specimen, and KO power. But we have no idea how he is on the ground. I mean, Neil Magny got him to the ground. And Islam's much better. All that judo background shit, all that specimen, physical specimen, and KO power goes away when Islam gets his back. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's why I think Shavkat's his hardest fight because he's so well rounded. How do you think Islam versus Burns would go? I think Islam would smash Burns so fast. Bro, the next fight I'm looking forward to is Ty versus Tallison next. I mean, I don't know how Ty's going to be in that fight, shape wise, so that worries me. Islam will be banned from Dagestan if Morales beats him, potentially. Best prospects in each divisions are Andre Lima, great one. Alexander Taporia, Luke Riley, Yadir, Quinlan, Jacoby Smith, Ateba, Belgori, Modestus Bukaskis. Ooh. Mario Pinto, Josh Hockett, or Brando Perexi, whatever that name is. That's not a bad one. I think Jacoby Smith is kind of out. There's a question on Jacoby Smith. His Nico Price fight, he looked bad. Yeah. There's another one also, a couple of them from Dana White's Contender Series. Mario Souza. That's a one to keep your eyes out on. There's a couple of them. That's not that bad. Andre Lima is a dark horse. I mean, you could really say that same for Israel. He's right up there with Anderson so far as the best middleweight of all time. I agree 100%. And one thing about Israel didn't turn down fights 100%, like Anderson did. Sure. That makes a lot of sense. We should have seen Sean, man. I hate that these guys take fights when they don't need to. 100%. Chris Duncan versus Roman Dolidze got announced. No, Roman Dolidze just got announced with somebody else. No. No. Roman Dolidze just got announced with CLD. That's not true. I miss Kobe Bryant, even though he's been mega for almost 6 years. It's crazy. Islam versus Prime Hendricks. I mean, nobody was beating Prime Hendricks. Honestly, nobody. So that's a tough one. Yeah, that's a great list, JB. Sisakayev, Hamza Boy is raw. Mario Pinto is a good mention. He didn't look great in his last one though, or I guess the 2 fights ago, his debut. Yo, what's up, Mason? I'm in Puerto Rico, and that's the reason why I say Anderson Silva and GSP are not even close to John Jones. Oh, I agree 100%. I think GSP is close because he had a crazy run for years and years and years and years. Kevin Vallejos is a solid prospect. Yes, Zachary, what's up? Swam and Ocean, Christian Lee, Ray Duncan. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry. My bad, buddy. My bad. I was thinking of the freaking other guy. My bad. Condé Goat. Yes. There's champions, there's greats champions, and like Anderson and GSP, and then there's the GOAT. I agree with that. What's up, my guy? Superman versus Silver Surfer. Who do you have? Really think about it. It's not an easy one. Okay. And John Jones is levels above everybody. You could put Anderson, GSP, and Demetrius all together, and they wouldn't touch his resume. I agree with that. Condit Cerrone, dude, what a fight that would be. Oh my gosh. I'd be sweating bullets. CLD reminds me of Lerone Murphy. I mean, I don't see it. Personally, I don't see it. Um, I think Lerone doesn't pull the trigger as much as CLD does. Name one super fight MMA, bro, you wanted to see back then. I wanted to see Cruz Aldo. Ooh, Cruz Aldo. Um, Oh, TJ Johnson, 100%. TJ Dillashaw versus Demetrius Johnson, 100%. I wanted to see that. What fighters do you see retiring in 2026? Jim Miller, Bobby Green. Um, yeah, I mean, that's all I can think of right now, but there's going to be a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much for the 2026. Appreciate you. Today was such a nice day swimming in the ocean, looking at the blue sky, coconut trees all over Puerto Rico. Hell yeah. Condit Cerrone is a BMF title fight. Dude, you know it. You know it. Tony Ferguson versus Condit at 170. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh. I mean, Condit was like TKOing Thiago Alves with stepping elbows. Unbelievable. TJ versus Johnson would be dope. Yeah. Rose probably retires in 2026. I agree with that. I wanted Lombard Brian Stan. Ooh, man. People forget how good Lombard was coming to the UFC, and he just never really lived up to the hype. Had a good couple moments, like his knockout against Nate Marquardt was disgusting. But yeah, I think Alexander, he gets a couple more defenses and he goes ahead of Jose, which I never thought anybody would go ahead of Jose. I still don't think Alex goes above Jose. Like he carried that division coming to the UFC for a long time. I if you weren't there, I guess it's gonna be hard to explain that. But I still wouldn't put him again above Jose. Flyweight back to Florida tomorrow. Hell yeah, I'm flying back. Okay. Does Marab get the rematch right away? Should. If he doesn't want it, I don't know. He should though. No UFC for so long. I know. Ferguson Goat still doing it. Not MMA though. Do you think Peloton could move up to heavyweight and become champ? 100%. Oh, top three nastiest injury. Obviously the both leg breaks. Okay, so Piper's elbow, the leg break with Anderson Silva. Um, oh, I had another one. Arm from Piper. Um, get the Anderson Silva break. I guess we're gonna go the Uriah Hall, Chris Weidman break as well. I'm probably missing one. Damn it. Smash Thiago Alves. Yeah. Lombard got smashed by Dan. Prime Lombard versus Prime Yoel at middleweight. Oh, Yoel smashes Lombard. Lombard was great, but Yoel's a monster. I see Justin Gaethje retiring this year, especially if he loses to Patty. I agree with that 100%. Justin Gaethje may even retire if he loses decisively against Patty. Correct. Woodley Ferguson next. Yikes. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Thoughts on the Minnesota turning into, I don't even know what that is, but okay. Anderson Silva versus John Jones at 205, 2012. Could you imagine how crazy that fight would have been? The problem is if John was able to get Anderson to the ground, it's a problem. And I think Anderson would have been gun shy, so John would have been able to pick him apart on the outside. Happy New Year, Carlos. Appreciate you, buddy. Potown would be triple champ. That'd be so sick. That'd be so sick. You got to put him. I mean, he's already has to be in the GOAT conversation for the small amount of time he's been here and whatever he's done. It's unbelievable. 2013 is when I started watching. Damn, okay, 12 years. Pantoja with the dislocated elbow. Yeah, yep, bad, 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 bad. You kind of look like Yuri if you had shorter beard. Okay. Miracle falling on his leg after the Gonzaga head kick was nasty injury too. Yes, it was. Oh, Tim Means when he got knocked out by Nico Price. Whew. Minnow Cop gonna KO Van. I think so. What year did you all start watching MMA? Mine was back in UFC 50 when Hughes armbarred GSP. I started watching it, I believe, in 2004. I think that's when it was. Let me see the fight. Pretty sure it was 2004. Uh, let's see. It was. Where's it at? Boom. Yep. April 2nd, 2004. That's one of the first fights I watched and really was into. Was the Robbie Lawler Nick Diaz fight. And that was 2004. Patty next champ? Potentially. I don't think he beats Ilya though. Cyborg versus MVP head smash? Yikes. Petty will not retire Justin. Yes, he will. Armin might. Jones would smash Silva. Interesting. Pereira versus Ortega? Yikes. Hey, I chopped the same shirt from Myers. Gable new goat? Yuck. Poton destroyed Inc. Hey, the Lombard versus Biden stand was announced and never happened. So was Jones versus Rumble. Yep. Diaz versus Dustin. Yep. Also, like the Jones Henderson was supposed to happen as well. Pota dating Ortega seconds. Yes, he is. 2012 is 14 years ago. Wild. We could have got that. We could have got the GSP fight, but Anderson turned them both down. Damn. My brother bought the Anderson Silva Chris Weidman rematch to see Anderson win the belt back, and that's when I started watching. Shit, that's a hard one to come back or start to. Bruce, the Buffer 360 ACL tear was the worst injury ever. Yikes, that's crazy too. Yeah. Cop versus Pantoja. I can't wait for that fight. I've been watching UFC since 2009, 17 years. Damn. Started watching in 2020. Whoa, because NFL and every company became super liberal. Yeah, I can separate that stuff. Like, I understand, like, NFL becoming liberal. I can separate it because I just like watching football. Bro, I remember when Diaz KO'd Lawler. It was sick. The first fight I ever saw was Tim Sylvia versus Randy pay-per-view. Damn, okay, that's a good one. Remember Tim Sylvia, Frank Mir. Remember watching that one. That was crazy. But I know pretty much every champion there's been. I can name them all the way from back to the 90s. Damn, that's awesome. I was watching WWE in 2004. Me too. Me too. And I've probably watched every exciting good fight there is. I agree 100%. I remember having my friend mind blown when I saw Yves Edwards knock out Josh Thompson back in the Dizay. Yeah, absolutely. When Thompson went for a spinning back fist and Edwards head kicked him, disgusting transition from Edwards. People forget how good Edwards was. And then people forget that Jorge Masvidal and Bodog, which is crazy, knocked out Edwards' young Masvidal with the head kick. Tito versus Bader is a low-key the biggest upset ever. Ever has to be how like TJ Hennon, odds wise. But Tito Bader's crazy, yes. I didn't think Jones Johnson was ever announced to happen. No, there was just a lot of big talks. So maybe that doesn't count, but there was so many talks of oh wait, it was announced. 100% it was announced because they did a whole press conference for it. They did a stare down and everything. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was announced. Alex gone for the interim belt. Maybe. Corey Hill, leg break was bad. That was terrible. No, Tom Hasselhoff gone again. 100% agree. Jones versus Henderson, Khabib versus Tony, Aldo versus Pettis. Man, we missed out on so many fights. Agreed. Every year it happens. It sucks. I really didn't know who they were, though. Yeah, that's true. I also really remember, I just freaking had it and I lost it, I think. Ah, damn it. Missed it. Kept gonna put Van away. Yeah. Period. Yep. Yep. Period. Take care, Minnow. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate you, victim. Hope you have a good one, buddy. It's been really cold in Florida lately. Couldn't be as cold as it was here. Just got a Chris McCaffrey jersey. That's sick. That guy's incredible. Actually incredible. Who remembers when JDS was a killer back then till Kane came around? Yeah. He was awesome. And then Kane started building that way up. I hate politics, man, and when they started bringing it into sports, it pisses me off. I agree. NFL was already on the Kaepernick kneeling BS was totally over by the time COVID came. That whole thing got blown out of proportion. Like, take what you want out of it. Um, I, yeah, take what you want out of it. I think it's I can separate that stuff because I just want to watch football. I'll mute it if I have to. I don't care. I just like football. Oh, Cowell was supposed to fight Gaslam too. Did Whitaker Gaslam ever happen? Yes, it did. Whitaker beat up Gaslam too. It was 37 in Naples, but it was not below 73 here in San Juan. Wow. Remember the three legendary fights between Sam Stout and Spencer Fisher? Hell yeah. And then remember Sam Stout knocked out Eve Edwards by eating a punch. It was wild. Bonjour. I invited a lot of my friends to watch the Diaz Edwards fight, and that day turned them into MMA fans. Ooh, ooh, goodness! I thought Eves was gonna win in the in Strike Force. I thought he was gonna win the title. I think KJ Noons TKO'd him quickly. Um, Pretty sure that's what it was. Also, people forget he was the first fighter to knock out Jeremy Stevens. People forget about that, I think. Let me look. Um, Let me see. Knocked him out. I forgot what I was freaking looking. Damn it. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, KJ Noons TKO'd him 48 seconds in round number one after the nasty flying knee on James Burdo. Unbelievable. And then he was head kicked before that by Jorge Masvidal about a year before that. Crazy. He was good, man. People forget how damn good he was. Damn, he fought in the UFC back in 2006 and lost to Mark Hominick by triangle armbar. That's wild. Yes, Sam Stout was awesome. Come on, kitty. Say hi. Say hi. If Alex deserves his title and the Russian gets a win, it deserves the trilogy. Maybe. We missed out on Ferguson and McGregor too. Yes, we did. Do you think he could stand? That's okay. Goodbye, buddy. I miss the UFC, but I hate boxing. The struggle is real. I agree. I can't, bro, because the players were brutally kneeling, blatantly kneeling, disrespectful bums. Okay. Pick one: Rumble versus Jones or Tony versus Khabib. GSP versus Anderson. Khabib. Tony Khabib, for sure. Honorable mention: Mark Hunt was my second favorite heavyweight back then. He was awesome for a while. The Diaz brothers used to be a villain back in the day. I remember being the only one rooting for Diaz when he fought BJ Penn at Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, I 100% would have been picking Diaz. He beat the piss out of BJ Penn. Beautiful combinations, too, by the way. Stephen Thompson will sadly probably retire this year. I agree 100%. Hey, Saturday, there are some good games on. Yes, there is. Seahawks 49ers game is the one you want to watch. 100% agree. Also, I will say this, even though the Seahawks are playing well, Sam Darnold, still Sam Darnold. He's still that guy. I know Jackson Smith is playing well. He's catching damn near everything, but Sam Darnold is turning the ball over at a historical rate. So, Masvidal KO Eves. Yep. Sam Stout was one of those guys who traded wins and losses. He never really a top guy at 155. I mean, like I said, again, he beat Eve Edwards, and I think that was as close as he had gotten to be that guy. Yeah, because Eve was top. Oh no, no, that was Sam was the top 15 guy. Ooh, can I look at where he was ranked back at that time? I can. Oh, that's so sick. Oh, that's awesome. So the rankings in June 5th, 2011 had Clay Guida at 4, Kenny Florian at 3, Maynard and Edgar at 1 and 2, Dennis Seaver at 5. Clay Guida was fourth. He on a 4-fight win streak, just beating Anthony Pettis. Melvin Gillard was 7. Mac Danzig was 8. TKO over Joe Stevenson, which is fucking wild. Matt Weidman at 9. Evan Dunham at 10 on a 2-fight losing streak. Jim Miller at 11. Crazy win streak. Gleason T-Ball 2-fight win streak at 12. Sean Shirk at 13. Kurt Pellegrino on a 2-fight losing streak at 14. Sam Stout at 15. Let's see where Sam Stout, what's the highest Stout got to? What's the highest one? So he beats Eves, loses to Thiago Tavares, beats Fisher, loses to McDessie, beats Carlos Fodor, loses to Kraus, beats McKenzie, and then kind of goes downhill from there, obviously. Oh my goodness. He got close. I guess that's the closest one he got was Eve Edwards. He was in the top 15 there. Wow. Wow. Whew. That is, I didn't know I could look at that. That's awesome. Ross Pearson in 2015 was number 7. Oh, wait, no. No, 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 actually. Oh, yeah, he was at number 7. He was the 7th ranked fighter in 2015. I'm sorry. I'm geeking out a little bit on that. That's crazy. My bad. Chiefs fell off. Yeah. Fuck the Eagles. Sorry, El Nasty. His story is going to look back on Aspinall with a box of tampons. Yeah. Dustin James Krause as a fighter and a person, I didn't like him. As a fighter, he was awesome. I mean, he was a good fighter. He really was. He was a really good fighter. Dogs are so much better than cats. I don't know about that. I like cats more than dogs. Me too. I remember Mark Hominick back in the day with the boulder of, yep, on his forehead from Jose Aldo. Did you see where Lamar Jackson could be traded to the Vikings? It's never going to happen. And the Ravens would receive a couple first-round picks and J.J. McCarthy. It's the craziest trade I've ever seen. Lamar's going nowhere. Tony want to have one at least one if one of 5 or could be 100% agree. What was Tony Ferguson ranking in 2011? 55 in 2000. Oh. Let's go back to 2000. Can I see? Oh, it's not going to show that. Okay, so let's go back here to 15, 2011. Let's go to 55. Oh, so he wasn't even in the top 15. Tony wasn't. Tony was Charles Oliveira was 22nd. Oh my goodness. I'm looking where Tony is. Smooth Benson Henderson was 33rd. 2011. I'm waiting. I'm not seeing. Nope. I do not see Tony Ferguson in 2011. This is 605 2011. 55. Don't see him. Geeking out. Yeah, Sam was robbed by against Masvidal back in 2012. I agree with that. Yes, I agree with that. What's your favorite guy's favorite gatekeeper fighter? Entertaining fighter who never reached title contention? Gatekeeper fighter. Ooh. I mean, Matt Brown was a big one. Um, Jim Miller, I think, was one for a long time. Uh, Clay was there for a while. Um, Rich Franklin, I think, was there for a minute. Yeah. Gonna go ride ATV around islands. Good night. See you later. See you soon. Appreciate you. Everyone hit the like and subscribe button. Yep, appreciate you. Hope everybody's doing well. Spencer Fisher, the GOAT, he was great. Kevin Holland is the gatekeeper in my head. I agree with that. Also lost you for a long time. I also agree with that. James Cross versus Joaquin Buckley should have happened. 100% agree. Should have. 100% agree. 100%. Cop versus Holland. That'd be awesome. I heard a rumor that Dan Severn used to be big before his matches. I have no idea. James Cross versus the IRS. Don't even care, Jorge. Turning chicken shit into chicken salad was a hilarious line by Brock, right? Howland versus Colby at White House. Book it. It's crazy because Tony Ferguson came into the UFC in 2011. Yeah, he's not even in the. Oh, it's because June 4th, 2011 was the Ultimate Fighter 13th finale. I think that was where Tony. Yep, that's where Tony made his debut. So that's why he's not ranked. So I think if you go, that's 5, that's 12. If you go to the next week, maybe he's ranked. Let's see if he's ranked now. George Soteropoulos was at 6, and he lost a decision against Dennis Seaver. That's why Seaver was at 5. Oh, wow. Wow. Gleason Tebow at 12. Sam Stout at 13. That's where he got put. Nick Lentz. Nick Lentz at 16. So let's see. Tony Ferguson. Cowboy was at 31. He moved up 6 spots. Okay, so let's go one more week. It's probably the end of the month. Let's go to June 27th, and let's see. Top 5 stayed like this for a while. Honestly. Da, 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 da. Still no Tony Ferguson. Okay, so no Tony in June. So I guess let's go to Congo, Barry Congo. Oh my goodness. Let's go to July. Let's go to July 3rd. Let's see. Rafael Dos Anjos moved up 13 spots. Holy shit. George Soteropoulos moved down 5 spots after losing to RDA. Unbelievable. Still looking. Still looking. Cowboys at 30. I am seeing 0. So I don't think Tony moved up for a while then. Sorry. Howland versus Colby at the White House. Book it. That'd be sick. Michael Chandler's trying to get where he can fight Conor McGregor at the bathroom, right? Remember the first fighter who came in the cage with Speedo? Yes, that was Dennis Hallman. I really do think the man has dreams about Conor. Potentially, aren't Cam and a gatekeeper for sure. Gilbert Burns, yep. Dennis Hallman was a Speedo dude, yep. You know I got connections. The news I got today is insane. Hell yeah, buddy. Hope you're doing well, man. Remember when RDA fought Jeremy Stevens and he had a broken jaw? Got a steel plate in his face. Yep. And then he still got knocked out a few times after that. Again, I appreciate you guys. Smack that like button. We're one away from a 20 bomb like. Yeah, I think there's actually a freaking. Here. Let's go here. Wasn't Tony fighting at 170 on Tough, or am I tripping? He definitely could have been. Let me see. This is July 3rd. GSP, John Fitch, BJ Penn, Rick Story, Matt Serra, Jake Shields, Paulo Tiago, Carlos motherfucking Condit at 8, Josh Koscheck, Matt Hughes, Rumble, Lytle, Alves, Almeida, Diego Sanchez, Martin Campman, Jake Ellenberger, 4 fights in a row, 3 of them by finishes at 21. Brian Foster, I like Brian Foster there for a second. Tandem or Quarry was decent for a second as well. Tony Ferguson, he was 49th. 49. You missed my first 2 comments. Oh, my bad, man. Your also Islam is already ducking Morales. I missed your first 2, buddy. I'm sorry. Islam already ducking money, Morales. That's craziness. Happy New Year. I'm in now another great year of fights. I appreciate you. I hope you're doing well. Yes, can't wait for that. Oh, my favorite gatekeepers were Nate and Cerrone. I agree 100%. Remember TJ Grant? Oh, yeah. Incredible performance against Gray Maynard. Concussion took him away. Concussion. Sorry about that. Where your kid at? Drunk Tony. Ikram and Jung Young Park will be ranked in 2026. Maybe. Those Tony Ferguson awards? Yikes. Maybe. It will be world champ one day. Remember the name? Okay, we'll see. Tony Ferguson wasn't as weird back then in 2011. He was much more normal. Yes, he was. Prime Diego versus Prime Tony, the best BMF fight ever. Yeah. Yeah. Diego was a madman back then. My favorite UFC fighter is CM Punk. I'm sure it is. Tony won at 170 on Tough. Yes, he did. At no point has Tony been normal, just less CTE. Correct. And finished everyone in the show. TJ Grant had a good fight with Evan Dunham. That's correct. I'll break the news, but y'all, please don't leak it. Protez JDM 327. Ooh, man. Ooh, God, that fight's going to be nasty. Am I crazy for saying Protez is a lock? I got to say, yes, he is. The hard flag was up from Arkansas, brother. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Damn, I forgot about Evan Dunham, another good lightweight back in the day. Yeah, and Melvin Gillard smashed him. Smashed him. He was decent for a second. Decent. Gosh, my fucking foot itches. Yes, Protez by KO every dollar. Yep. JDM 2 hittable. 2 hittable. Good pressure, good boxing style, but way too hittable. We're going to have to do another collab. Elite. Crazy Max Holloway been in the UFC since 2012. He's only 34. You would expect him to be much older, being with the UFC almost 14 years. Agreed. I mean, it's not like he takes easy fights. Counting down the seconds to Teva steps in that octagon. I know, right? Big money. Who's your final 4 for the football this year? Oh, goodness. Oh, Jags, Patriots, hold on. Hold on. It is. Ah, fuck. Okay, so Jags, Patriots. Texans, Bears. I might be wrong on that. Let me know, though. Let me know. I might be wrong on that. Cortland Sutton, kind of out of nowhere, is over 1,000 yards again. Seems like kind of out of nowhere, to be honest. Melvin Gillard had McDadson crying, remember? Oh, he was screaming around the octagon. A-Rod has to clutch up Sunday night against the North. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I hope so. I don't think he's gonna. What's up, Mike G? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Appreciate you. Eagles. Yuck. DDP is gonna fight the winner of Akayo RDR. I mean, I agree with that. Pick somebody else. Texans are in the same division with Patriots and Jags. Oh, my bad. Okay, Chargers. Yeah, Chargers. Oh, no. Rams. Let me see these fucking things by division. Playoff. That's that. Makes playoff. I'm trying to see a potential depth chart, fan picture, playoff picture, draft, power rankings. Um, 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 uh, okay, so yeah, Patriots. I can't do that one. Jags, Chargers. No, Rams. That's Final Four. That's a better way to do it. Max Melton, not Oliveira. No, I think Oliveira submits him. Usman versus Brady is the fight to make for both. I agree 100%. I wonder what happened to Mike Denson for him to cry like that. I mean, he was knocked out cold. That's what happened. Justin Gaethje was just making his MMA debut in 2011. That's crazy. I like Mike Denson on Tough. He was hilarious. Yeah, he was good. And his performance against that Joe Stevenson, Joe Daddy, that was a hell of a knockout. Definitely Andy Wang on Tough was so funny, right? Defeating Andy Wang. If DDP loses to Allen, he should go to 205. Way less grappling at least. Plus, he has a big cut to 85. I agree 100%. Only going to take the money line, but Umar needs to get a finish against Figgy. And not a lot of people finish Figgy. So he's not going to finish against Figgy. What if Gaethje never signed with UFC? I think he would have been champion for a very long time. Guido threw Danzig a wake up call beating. I don't remember him fighting. I gotta be honest. I don't remember Clay fighting Mac. Clay Guida. He beat him by split or something. I don't remember that fight. Let me see. Clay Guida. No, Jesus. Mac. Yeah, he beat him by decision in 2008. And then he beat D at Nate by split and lost a split. And then that Diego fight, I thought he beat Diego. And that was back in the day, Diego as well. So I've been 4 fights in a row. He had won. Wild. Favorite season of Tough. Ooh, I really like the John Chael season. I thought that was an awesome season. If Gaethje never signs a belt with the UFC, he is PFL champ until they merge with Bellator. Then Usman smokes him. Potentially, yes. You see Sugar's forehead take? No way that's real. Yeah, no way it's real. Has donated $20? No, you haven't. Bobby Green been with the UFC since 2013. That's crazy. Peyton calling out Swanson is crazy work. I agree. It's a great matchup. Even still today, Swanson. It's a great matchup. But yeah, can't wait for Damian Pinas to shadow Wes Schultz. I agree 100%. Diego Lopez made his debut in 2007. That's 19 years. Whoa. What? I'm in all. Rodriguez might be a superstar. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We need to see a little bit more, but he has potential to be a superstar for sure. Again, it's a little after 1 o'clock in the morning here for me. I really, really do appreciate you guys. I didn't know that I could like Kenny Florian was number 2 in 2009. He was ranked number 2. That seems crazy to me. Seems crazy to me. I'm baffled. Baffled. Like Benson Henderson was ranked 15th in 2011. I don't even understand this. Um, oh my goodness. It seems crazy. I don't know. Lucas Tracy just dropped the best of 2025. Okay. Who would you match up? Who would I match up Villejas with next? Ooh, Jim Miller fighting 1, 2, 300 is my favorite fact. I agree also. He just beat Giga. Cater or Garcia you could do. His cardio is trash. Whose is trash? Who's cardio? Nah, I'm joking. Lopez been fighting MMA since 2013. Damn. Lucas Tracy gets on my nerves. Yeah. Nah, Diego beat Clay. I didn't think so. If you watch that third round, it was all Clay Guida. What's the best drugs to try? Zero. We will see Justina. That doesn't make sense. But I do appreciate you guys. I will be live again tomorrow. Have a good day. Stay safe. You guys know what it is. Peace. Lucas Tracy is a GOAT.